What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I'd love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday, and today I am scared. I'm going to be retaking the Cooper running test. I took this last year and I made a whole video about it for the first time. The Cooper running test is a 12-minute run fitness test, and the test is an easy way to measure aerobic fitness and provide an estimate of VO2 max for military personnel, and it's still used today. I took this last year because I kind of wanted like an FTP test for running, and I do feel like this hits the bill, but it's not easy. You just run as hard as you can for 12 minutes, and then you take that distance and like plug it into a calculator. I do get VO2 Max on my Apple Watch as well, like it predicts it. And it actually has shown in the past year that my VO2 Max has gone up. But I kind of think that's because I stopped wearing my watch casually and I only wear my Apple Watch when I'm working out. So in other situations where maybe I was just walking around or like walking and talking with a friend and doing exercise, that would like bring my VO2 Max down. I don't know. I do think there's a couple reasons why I could do better on the test today and a couple reasons why I could do worse. The first reason why I think I could do better is just that I've taken the test before. I watched my video from last year. I will link it down below if you're curious, but I was a mess. I didn't know what pace to go at all. I went out way too fast at the beginning and then was constantly adjusting during the 12 minutes. So I feel like that happens, and that happens when you take the FTP test on the bike too for the first time. It's hard to know what your actual hardest is with no benchmark at all. I've never done short distances like this. 12 minutes is a short distance for someone that does half marathons and marathons. So it's good to have a benchmark from last time that I'm going to start at that pace and then see what happens. But even if I'm worse than last year, I don't think I'll be drastically worse. So I hope that I can hold close to the pace that I start at the whole time. I think that's kind of a better indicator of your run rather than what I did last time where I was constantly changing the speed. The second reason I think I could do better is that I have joined a run club, and man, oh man, we yap in that run club. We talk the entire time we're running, and it's not even that I'm going particularly fast when I run with them, but talking and running, I feel is incredible for your cardiovascular health. But I do feel there's a couple reasons why I could do worse. The first is last time I was having treadmill problems, and we have new treadmills in the gym. They're still bad, but I haven't had problems on them yet, knock on wood, that they're gonna stop it all. But last time I was on a treadmill where the front half of the treadmill was on a mat and the second half wasn't. So I didn't use an incline. I had gone in planning to do 1% incline to mimic a flat road because you're supposed to do this test outside. But I just did 0% because there was already a slight incline from the mat. But today I will try to do the 1%. So we'll see if that has any impact. I don't really know last time, there was a little bit of incline. I don't know if it was equivalent to 1%. The other reason is that I do feel I've been running a lot less lately. Typically, I've just been doing runs with my run club, so once a week, and I've been biking. I've done other cardio workouts, but definitely have been doing less running. I did train for a half marathon earlier this year, so I do feel I have good cardiovascular running health, but we'll see. I'm very curious to see how my results compare to last time. And I talked about this a lot in my last video, but basically I am doing it on a treadmill rather than outside because A, I don't have a flat track accessible to me very easily in New York City, and B, I feel the weather affects your running so much, especially with the heat, that I don't want my results to be impacted by the weather. So I feel doing it inside is kind of nice, that you can, control the climate that you're in a little bit better and have it be easier to measure year to year. So last year when I did this test, I ran a total of 1.6 miles in the 12 minutes, which works out to a 7-minute and 30-second pace. So my goal this year is to just go in with that pace and try to hold it. That is an 8 speed on the treadmill. That feels pretty fast, so we'll have to see how it goes. But I think it'll be good. Also, last year I did about a 1 mile warm up before I got into the workout, which was a mix of walking, jogging, and a couple spin ups, just going faster getting to that 8 speed just to feel it before I do, the 12 minutes. And I pretty much plan to do the same thing. I did note last year in the video that I only did 2 spin-ups and I wish I did some more. So we'll see. I'm gonna, just kind of do my own warm-up until I feel good and ready to go. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I have stalled as long as I can, and now I need to go do the thing. I am so nervous because after the workout, I was literally like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up last year. And I do think this is obviously gonna be a very hard workout. Any test that you're pushing yourself to your absolute limits is gonna be hard. So with that, let's go to the gym, hit the tread, and see how I do. That is easily the worst thing I've done in any recent memory. Oh my gosh. Time to cool down. I'm so sweaty. This was my total stats for warm up, the 12-minute run, and the cool down. I didn't stop the treadmill at all because it takes a while for it to get ramped back up. Time to stretch and then we can regroup. I just stared at the wall for like 5 minutes and I feel like I'm finally calmed down from the run. It was very, very intense. You could tell my face is still very, very red. But I will say, it did feel horrible, but I feel like it maybe felt a little bit better than last time. I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up, so that's always a good sign. But I don't think I could have pushed myself any harder. I was going very hard the whole time. I'm very proud of myself for finishing it, honestly. Every single minute I was counting down. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only 4 minutes left. Come on, I can do it. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. And then it was finally done. I feel like with these kinds of things, I always have a game plan and then it changes as soon as I'm in the run. But I started off, I did a full mile warm up and it took me 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And there I did I think 2.5 minutes of walking, then 2.5 minutes of jogging. Then I did 3 spin-ups, 30 seconds on, a minute off. The first time I did 7.5 speed, the second time 8 speed, and the third time 8.5 speed. I thought that it would be better to go over my target starting speed of 8. So then when I actually got into the run, it felt a little easier. And I think that actually worked. I'm glad that I did a spin up higher. So then once I was into the run, I'm like, okay, this feels good. I did end up doing a 0.5 incline instead of a 1 incline. I tried the 1 incline and I feel like it felt very uphill to me. I do run outside here and I just felt like it didn't feel similar to running outside. So now I'm committed for all future tests. I will be doing a 0.5 incline and that's decided, that's done. I'm glad for consistency. Next time I know what to do. But then after my 11 minute and 30 second warm up, I was ready to get into it. So I sticked with my pace. I was right out the gate, I'm just going to start at 8 speed, see how it feels. And right at the beginning, it actually felt really good. I do think it was because I did the speed up of 8.5 in the warm up. And honestly, right away, I was like, oh, I want to go up in speed. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that because I feel like if I go up in speed now, I'm going to be too tired. 12 minutes is a weird length in my opinion because it's not a sprint. It's more than a mile, but it's also not super, super long. But I'm just we're gonna stick at speed 8 for the first 6 minutes. And then afterwards, if I'm feeling good, feeling like it's too easy, there's still 6 minutes to play with the speed. I can, go up in speed pretty drastically if I still have energy left. And I was thinking oh, I could go up 0.1 every minute. So it'd be 8.1, 8.2 and really get some mileage in at the end. But man, oh man, was I glad that I made that commitment to myself because after the 6 minutes, I was very tired. 6 minutes of running at an 8 speed is definitely hard for me. It's not something I do normally. So once I got to the 6 minute mark, I was let me just try to push to 8.1 and see how it feels. And honestly, it's such a small change in the pace. I was at 7:30 and then going up to 8.1, you go down to 7:24. But it was so hard. I feel like it is a mental thing. I stayed at 8.1 for 2 minutes and then I just went back down to 8. I was thinking about trying to push back up to 8.1 for the last 2 minutes. But honestly, by the time I got to the last 2 minutes, I was just dying and so tired. And I'm I do not feel like I can add any speed. I would love to actually see this on the Peloton. I'd love for a running instructor to lead this kind of test. just because I feel like in that moment I could have used a little encouragement. Like if there was someone telling me like, come on, just add point 0.1, only like a minute left, maybe I would have like added it, but you got to rely on yourself. And I was just too dead to like get there. I was trying my hardest to just like keep going. As soon as it hit the 12 mark, I put my feet on the side of the treadmill and like ramped down the speed. And I feel like that's very uncommon for me. Usually I can like, ramp down the speed slowly and be fine, but I was just so dead. We ended the test with 10 minutes of 8 speed and 2 minutes of 8.1 speed, which does not even change the overall result of 1.6 miles. So it is interesting that I got the exact same length as last time. So everything else is the same. I'll link the website down below that's like all about the Cooper test, but they give you a formula to calculate your VO2 max with. So that still puts me at 46.26 VO2 max, which is a little bit lower than what my watch says, which is interesting. I'm not convinced like any of these are super, super accurate. And I feel like 46 or like 48, they're both good VO2 maxes that I'm happy with. They also have a little table that you can look up your age and gender. So I'm female 20 to 29. And I still fall into the above average category, which is 2,200 to 2,700 meters. 1.6 miles is like a little over 2,500 meters. So, the goal is one day maybe to get to 2,700 meters. So I fall in the excellent category. But I don't know. I think that it is interesting that it's exactly the same. I mean, on one hand, it's good because I didn't get any worse. But on the other hand, I would have loved to see, some improvement over a year. But I do feel like improvement is not linear, and it's still good to just like get the benchmark, to do the thing, to prove myself I can run as hard as I can for 12 minutes. It is a challenge. This was definitely slightly anticlimactic, but I'm still happy that I went and tried and did it. And if you have any way that you measure your like running fitness, let me know. I mean, obviously I can run half marathons, I can run marathons, run races, and like see the time go down that way. But I do think that this is interesting that it's like a shorter distance. And now I kind of just want to see how fast I can run an actual mile, because I've never tried that either, or haven't tried it in a very, very long time. But I do think I'm taking a break from trying to run my absolute hardest, because it is a challenge. That is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.